video, and today we're gonna talk a little bit about soccer, football, well, more specifically, the MLS, everything it has to do with that, the Copa Libertadores and the Copa Sudamericana, or in, I guess, South American football in a sense. Well, no, that's specifically my three topics, and then I guess like a little introduction to the qualifiers for CONMEBOL, because obviously, that's a big important thing. Let's just get started right away and just say thank you so much on the last video for the support. I really appreciate it. I could tell that was a better video than my normal videos because of the likes. I tracked the likes and of course the likes and the views, and I know it's not good to check like views and stuff, but like it kind of makes sense. I think per view it's about like 12 views for like, which is actually a pretty good ratio, so I really appreciate it. It was a different approach to one of my videos, a really different approach to a video, but I'm glad to see everyone enjoyed it. So yeah, let's get started. I think the biggest story right now is Messi and Inter Miami. Listen, like, I've watched Inter Miami because of Messi, and plus, like, I kind of like some of the players. Like, I've always loved Jose Martinez ever since his days at Atlanta. I'm gonna say with an accent because it's easier because I just woke up, and for some reason when I wake up, I can't speak English. Like, I could primarily speak Spanish. I don't know why. I was supposed to wake up a few hours ago, like an hour nap. It's 3 in the morning. Actually, let me open up my... So yeah, today we're talking about Inter Miami first. Of course, the biggest headline: Inter Miami. I like Leonardo Campana. Of course, if you guys don't know Leonardo Campana's history, basically, he's super wealthy. His grandparents are some of the wealthiest people. No, his family is one of I think the wealthiest family in Ecuador. I believe Leonardo Campana made his club debut for Barcelona. What's the official name for it? I forgot. But the Barcelona of Ecuador, no. Hope you guys like the tapping. I keep forgetting, Barcelona is part of the Barcelona Sporting Club, is an Ecuadorian team. Okay. So he made his debut for them. I believe his grandpa actually built a stadium where he made his debut, which is kind of interesting, which is kind of cool. But his family's super wealthy. I did not know that coming in. I knew he had a little stint with the youth team, the infamous Ecuador youth team that reached 3rd place in the U20 World Cup in. Sorry, a little truck was that. I think that was a truck. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, Leonardo Campana, wealthy family, and part of the infamous U20 Ecuador squad. One player I liked, I don't know, it's Jose Martinez, Atlanta United. Like a little bit DeAndre Yedlin. I knew who DeAndre Yedlin was, obviously. I'm trying to think any other players that just super noticeable that every other player, I have no idea who they are. But listen, Inter Miami with Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba were such a good combination. They were genuinely nice and good and fun to watch. Of course, no Jordi Alba on the wing. No offense, Noah Allen, what's his name? he's done a right job, but he messes up too much. But he's young, so you know that's a habit. He's hopefully gonna lose. Listen, I support this team more than I support NYCFC because NYCFC is my local team, and plus, I don't know, bro. Like they had such a bad season. I believe I watched 2 of their games. I watched one. I think it was the League's Cup run of 3-2 against the Red Bulls. It was so boring. Like I genuinely have not watched a team that boring. They couldn't make a play. They couldn't open up the line. It was so, and against a big rival too. That's just so embarrassing. I know we're up for sports banter, but when people say, "Oh my God, you know we have an MLS Cup, and you don't," I'm like, bro, that doesn't mean anything if you can't even kick a ball into a goal. Of course, they fixed their form now. They might not make playoffs though, but I hope they don't make playoffs. I need my money back. What did I spend for that game? I think I spent like, I forgot how much I spent for my ticket. I want my time back. Respectfully, I want my time back. Plus, they have no like Tatianos, so it's kind of like. Who Maxi Morales? Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, NYCFC. I watch once in a while. I'll buy a ticket once in a while. If they play a good opponent, I'll go to Yankee Stadium. To Miami, on the other hand, I would love to watch it to Miami. But the way they play sometimes is super tiki taka. Of course, Tata Martino was an ex Barca coach. I believe it was a 2012-2013 season, if I'm correct, or 13-14. I think it was 13-14 with Neymar's first season at the club. Did he make playoffs? Messi's injured, so So Messi and Jordi Alba were injured against Toronto FC. Both in the 30th, something in around the 30th minute. Both came out with a knock. Everyone was saying it was an artificial field, and I kind of see it, but people are like, "Oh, Messi's gonna be back." Messi, listen, if it's an injury where Messi misses a final, it's genuinely a problem. And then Jordi Alba too. I heard everyone talking about Messi and not Jordi Alba. Like Jordi Alba was a crucial piece of that team, defensively and attacking wise. Jordi Alba, of course, he's older, he's more intelligent, and hell, he's a better player. But people forget that, like, Messi is a playmaker, yes, and they needed a playmaker. I'm sorry, Facundo Farias, bro. He looks promising. I could tell he's promising, but bro, he's so weird on the ball sometimes. His decision making doesn't make sense. I don't know what he is though. They played him so many different positions, but he excels, and he excels. And I think it was one of his first matches he played. I think it was right wing. It was definitely right wing, and Messi was playing down the middle. He just played better there. Was he playing Cam? I can't remember, but he had a really good game, like when he first signed, and after he just played mid. Sorry. But you know, they lost the US Open Cup to Houston Dynamo. Bro, that Houston Dynamo team in the first half played like prime Barcelona, and I'm not gonna lie to myself, Jemima have been horrible. No, barely any play. That was a boring ass half. I didn't say game because NYCFC still owes me my money, but yeah. I'm so sorry. Damn. I just realized I have a lot of homework to do tomorrow. Oops. Anyways, it was Open Cup final. They lost. Messi on the bench. Not even on the bench. Reserves. And Germany didn't play well. Of course, they needed to win the rest of their matches to reach playoffs. They lost super bad against Chicago. They started off really strong, and then they just fall on the counter. I'm guessing it's because they play a 3-back. Next season, I feel like they're gonna replace either Christopher Miller. I genuinely believe that. Because Toto Alvarez, ironically, Toto, like, when I was in school, I would, like, Toto means another word. I'm guessing that's for Mexicans. Was she Mexican? She was Mexican. That one girl was Mexican. Yeah. She would say Toto. And, like, obviously, I didn't know what the hell that was until somebody explained it to me. I'm like, oh. But Toto, for them, it's, for Argentinians, it's something else. I'm like, what the heck? That's so weird. So every time I hear Toto, I think of one thing. I'm not going to say it. It's a organ, reproductive organ. It's kind of funny. But Aviles, I see him as pretty good. I see him as potentially, like, next season's the real Inter Miami season. That's what everyone's saying, and it kind of is true. CCL qualification, a full season, and they can finally, like, fix out the team, because their first team is their first team. Maybe they have, like, 2 players who are worthy on the bench, and then everyone else just can't make a difference. And Inter Miami fall eventually to, they lose to FC Cincinnati. The Supporter Shield winners, 1-0. Messi came on for around 20 minutes, 24. He did not like himself. People, like, every free kick and stuff, I'm guessing he was just out of form. He was out of good fitness. He lacked super hard on the ball. And I'm a Messi fan. Like, no, let me rephrase that. I love Messi, and I will protect him until I can. But he had a bad game. Of course, you just come from injury, and you're expecting a big game against the champions, the current leaders of the league. That's weird. That's my heater. I have no idea what that is. And you expect it to show up. No, it was not going to be like that. So they're out. There's a possibility saying Barcelona could loan back Messi for a few months until the next MLS season, which actually, it's not a bad idea. I kind of don't see why. Like, if he's genuinely injured, let him rest. But, like, if he's genuinely injured, ¿por qué va a ir con el selección de Argentina? No jodas. Like, for what? Like, against Peru and Lima, and against Paraguay en Buenos Aires, no jodas. Si seriamente no se siente bien, déjalo en casa. But it's because they need to make the revenue, bro. Also, the Inter Miami has not said Messi's injured because they want ticket prices to still be high as hell, which is super fucking scammy. That's so fucking scammy. That's the one thing I don't fuck with, bro. That's so stupid. Like everyone else is injured. And the comments, bro, I'm like, people can't search up a simple thing on Google. Like, they search up, like, to watch things at night because they can. But they can't search up, is Messi still injured? Like, because there's reports every single match day about that. So I'm like, bruh, that's just so, whatever. Sorry for the weird angle. I couldn't find my tripod. And, I had just made my bed because, of course, I just woke up. I'm gonna get some food. Do I have food? I'm not really feeling it. I'd rather just go back to sleep. But, yeah. Messi out. Potential loan move. They have good players. I like the setup they have. They genuinely have a good setup. And for next season, we'll see how that goes. Maybe Jose Martinez stays. Maybe he doesn't. That's really hard to say. Honestly, Lina Campana could be the lead striker. Who do I see leaving the bench? Other than that, like the players who start, I genuinely see them. Next, we're gonna talk about. I don't have the shirt on because I was gonna put on the shirt, but I'm too tired. Inter Miami and Messi. That's that. Next, let's talk about La Sudamericana. Wow. La Copa Sudamericana, the equivalent to South America's Europa League. And the semi-final of the competition was Corinthians versus Fortaleza. If that was a really bad Portuguese accent, so if it genuinely is bad, tell me, please, because like I love trying to do these accents. I don't know why. And Liga de Quito versus contra Defensa y Justicia. Defensa y Justicia won it 15 ago under Hernan Crespo. Fortaleza, I think this is their first trophy in a while. Fortaleza, I've not seen win a trophy in a minute, if I'm correct. So it went out like this. Liga de Quito won 3-0 on aggregate, and Fortaleza won 3-1 on aggregate. So they're gonna play the final. Liga de Quito, of course, an Ecuadorian team versus a Brazilian team. Liga de Quito, they have a really good team. Of course, I think the Ecuadorian teams now, like you saw, ¿cómo se llama ese chico? How do you say? Independiente Valle won last season, I believe it was. So it just shows Ecuadorian teams can really compete at a international level. I can't say European level because that's how it is normally. American level? No, South American level? That doesn't really make sense. But on the international stage. Of course, biggest player here who's actually still showing his form at 39 years of age is Paolo Guerrero. The guy, I have una camiseta trucha de él. Oh yeah, I'm gonna speak a lot of Spanglish, so I'm gonna try to speak it, try to mix it. But Paolo Guerrero, the Peruvian, still kicking at 39 years of age and scored a brace, I believe, to get to the final. Really, really interesting, really cool. This could be his. I believe it. No, he never won the Sudamericana. If I'm correct, he never did win the Sudamericana. No, I know he won the Recopa Sudamericana when he joined Corinthians. The season after they won the Champions League, the Libertadores. They won the Recopa, and of course they won the Club World Cup, beating out, I believe it was Chelsea in the final. And Paulo Guerrero scored a goal in the final too, which is kind of cool. Yeah, as their biggest player, and then I think that's everyone who's looking out for. Who can I kind of name here? Everyone else. A lot of these players play for the youth teams of Ecuador, and of course we have Fortaleza. I've never seen Fortaleza's team. They have a. Yeah, I have no idea who most of these players are. But Commodities. Oh no, that's a goalkeeper. Who do I think is gonna win? I genuinely think Liga de Quito is gonna win because I've seen more of them, and Ecuadorian teams in finals just play like absolute machines. A pretty interesting Sudamericana too. This season, I don't know. It's a lot smaller teams to go. I mean, obviously it is for smaller teams, but let me get to a lot of smaller teams. Because the Peruvian teams who can't even get. Peruvian teams can't do anything. I'm sorry. Sporting Cristal honestly does the most. Not be biased on my part, because my step family, or my step cousin, my stepdad, they're Sporting Cristal fans, but yeah, like Sporting Cristal is like the one Peruvian team I see to actually go far in Europe, in American competitions. It doesn't stick. But like the Peruvian football has really had a decline. I've noticed it over the past few years, but now a lot of like the Peruvians part of like the old golden, I want to say golden era with Ricardo Gareca. When they qualified for the World Cup, a lot of them play in Peru now, which is good, both good and bad. It elevates the game. Obviously, they're talents that are never gonna be replicated. But it shows that the team. It shows that the league is really. It's just at a standstill. Like there's no like big developments. Of course, let's talk about the most important thing ever. La Copa Libertadores. Of course, as a Boca fan, I was watching this with my. We went out. We tried to go to an Argentinian steakhouse, but it was packed. So we kept looking in an Argentinian area. And of course, there's a lot of restaurants, but most of them were just like high end, or they were just not running it. I'm guessing because one, it was a Thursday, and two, they don't want drunks and stuff, because people do get lit. They didn't want to deal with drunks so early in the week, so I kind of understand that. But let's talk about Fluminense versus Internacional. Of course, Fluminense, Brazilian, against another Brazilian team, Internacional. Copa Libertadores, they had a pretty good run to the final. They had a pretty. Oh, it's not gonna tell me that. They beat River Plate. They beat River Plate at home, 9-8 on penalties. At home, then they played Bolivar, which everyone thought they was gonna win. Bolivar, I don't know how they got there. That's pretty interesting on their. That's pretty good on their part. Plus, then in the quarterfinal, Fluminense versus Internacional 2-2 at Flu's house. And then Fluminense, they came back. Internacional was winning at the 80th. I believe it was 80th minute. And then 6 goals later, 6 minutes later, they were down 2-1. And so 4-3 on aggregate. And of course, Fluminense. Yeah, that's really interesting. The biggest and most notable players of this team are Sergio Rochet, the Uruguayan shot stopper, the number 1 for La Selección. What is their nickname? El Celeste, no? I don't think it's, no, it's definitely El Celeste. El Celestes. They have American religion. Anyways, Gabriel Mercado, who played for Argentina in multiple Copa Americas, most notable in his 2018 game versus France in the round of 16 when he scored a deflection goal off Messi. Well, Messi shot the ball, but it deflected off Mercado's foot and it just went in. So, but everyone here is looking at Charles Aranguiz, a Chilean who won the Copa America, and then Valencia, the Ecuadorian. I had his card somewhere. That's literally God for Ecuadorians. And Valencia at his age, he's still kicking. He's still doing really, really well. Yeah, he's 33 years of age. He could be potentially he could potentially be playing at Prem level. Maybe like a good season in Spain. I definitely would jack it. Sorry. And for Fluminense, their road to the final was beating Argentina Juniors in round 16. They had a really tough group with River Plate, Sporting Cristal, and what was the other one? And the strongest lost 1-0. This group was crazy. Bro. First day they win 3-1 against Sporting Cristal. Then they went against the strongest on the second day. Because obviously I was following this group. Obviously, no me gusta River. Y soy medio hincha de Sporting Cristal, claro, porque mi viejo o mi padrastro, misma cosa. Sí, claro, yo estaba mirando el grupo y era un grupo difícil, ¿no? El campeón de Bolivia, un campeón de Bolivia. El River, sabemos que fuerte que es. El Flu, claro, los brasileños en Copa Libertadores se ponen como la gran máquina. Y I think I said that all. Yeah. They win 5-1 against River Plate, which is crazy. With putting De Michelis on his, literally on his knees. The strongest, they lose one of the strongest in the fourth game. They lose 2-0 against River Plate, and in Monumental. In the last match day, they tied with Sporting Cristal. Sporting Cristal needed a tie to even potentially get to stay in Sudamericana football. It was the results were way out of the way for them to get, even get Copa Libertadores. Then they faced Argentina Juniors, and they won 3-1 on aggregate. Then they played Olimpia, and a keeper of Paraguay. They won 5-1 on aggregate. Then in the quarterfinals, no, there's no quarterfinals here. That was quarterfinal. Semifinal, of course, they beat Internacional, and this is their first final in a while. What have they won? I'm actually genuinely curious. Because everyone says they haven't won anything. Let me check. Fluminense. Oh wow. This could be potentially the first time they're. This might be the first time they are in a Copa Libertadores final. I only won 4%. The last trophy was in 2012. That's wow. And of course, Boca, we know they have like more than 75 trophies in their cabinet. And I'll just go over Libertadores here. Good on their part, really good on their part, making history. But of course, hopefully Boca wins. But it is what it is. It doesn't really, like, it doesn't kill me if Boca doesn't win. But let's talk about that. Palmeiras. Oh my God, Palmeiras. Oh, Palmeiras is such a good team, bro. Like, this is the first time I watched Palmeiras play this season. Of course, they won the Copa Libertadores. I believe it was 2-3 seasons ago against River Plate. They won last season against Flamengo. Or Flamengo won. I can't remember. They're always in the semis. Always in the final. The one player, well, two players I can just, off the top of my head, that I genuinely recognize. Everton, of course, he gets called up for El Seleção in Brazil. The third choice keeper made an appearance in the World Cup because Chichen put him in. Endrick is the biggest name in this team, and I don't mean that as a dick rider. I genuinely mean that. 17 years of age. He's gonna play for Madrid. I think he signed for Madrid for July 2024 when he turns 18. Yeah, that's crazy. He's so good on the ball. This is the first time I watched him when Palmeiras played against Boca in the second leg. So fast, so quick with his feet. So fast, like the way he was dribbling past like 4 or 5 Boca players to get into the box, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? He's gonna have a tough future. Victor Roque, on the other hand, I know he's part of Atlético Paranaense. Of course, Victor Roque signing for Barcelona, the little rivalry. But I don't know. I don't see much of him. I see Andrew as a better player, but probably because he's on a better team. But no, Boca. What can I say? They have so many talented players, more than flu. Wait, I was just checking at Palmeiras. But yeah, Palmeiras, they know their competition in and out. Their last half decade in the Copa Libertadores has just been astronomical. Final. If they win. If they don't, they don't. But like, they know how to get to that final. They know how to stay in that final and potentially compete. Boca, biggest players that are most notable players. Of course, Marcos Rojo, who played for Manchester United, I believe since it was a 2015 season to at least a 2020 season. Constant sub for the club, constant bench warmer for the club, but he liked this rotation rule. Dario Benedetto, Valentin Barco, who is gonna leave this after the season. He's gonna leave. Luis Advíncula, the big Peruvian. Of course, that's why a lot of Peruvians are Boca fans, because of Advíncula, and Advíncula has been so good for Peru in its entirety. Sergio Chiquita Romero, who sadly missed the 2018 World Cup because of injury, but he's showing his form here as a shot stopper in penalty shootouts. And then Edison Cavani, who made the move. When did he make the move? He made the move in. Yeah, he made the move in June. barely scored any goals. He's literally scored one goal. He scored one goal in the league and one goal against Palmeiras in the semifinal. Yeah, so the thing with Boca, they've had 6 ties the entire tournament. They have not won an egg in normal time in so long. Club Atlético Boca Juniors, they literally tied against Palmeiras. They tied against Defensivos. No. Oh, okay, wrong. They tied against Racing, beating them 4-1 on penalties. Then they had to play Nacional, beating them 4-2 on penalties. In I'd say Zambates back to back. That's really gonna kill them. Horribly gonna kill them in the final. It doesn't matter if Fluminense are not as a caliber team as Boca, but like seriously, they're gonna suffer. The Boca Juniors are gonna suffer in the league. They could score in the league. Oh, they're having a really I remember they're having a tough season in the beginning. It's either ties or losses. 4-0 against like Cruz, imagínate. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a big suffering match. Who do I see winning? Boca Juniors and Sudamericana, Liga de Quito. Now, let's talk about... No, Argentina hasn't come out. When the Argentina qualifier lists. Shoot. Ecuador has been called up. Since I'm trying to look at everything, but you guys know I have to be more biased. Oh, this sucks so much. That's why sometimes I don't like, bro, I'm literally searching up, do I have to go to, I don't just go to Battery's website. Does it tell me who's been called up, who has not been called up? Bro, I hate sometimes, looking up for a team that isn't Argentina or Brazil. I feel like I'm, so dumb looking for these teams. There you go. No. But there's a team. This isn't tell me not ChatGPT. No. They said it a few days ago. But was it? Oh, there we go. Okay. Ecuador, that's gonna start. I had to look on the Twitter. That's super professional. That's so weird. See, this is what I don't like sometimes. If they're not Argentina or Brazil, you have to look hella hard for the teams. Bro, why are you making it so hard for myself? I remember I didn't even know the Ecuador team going into the 2022 World Cup because I couldn't find it. I didn't look hard enough. But I'm a quick Google search just tell me. What they should put on their Instagram. That's what Argentina, Brazil do. Improve those once in a while. Delanteros and Valencia, Kevin Rodriguez, Julio Garcia. Of course, I would really like Leonardo Campana to be there because he's in super good form, but he's injured. So, also a little thing. Some Ecuadorians do not like him in the team because he's rich. No sufrió cuando era chico. He never suffered when he was a kid. He had everything handed to him. Which I kind of see, I kind of understand that, but that's so stupid. Listen, if Messi wasn't poor, but he had the caliber, he was rich, but he had the same caliber he does now, but you don't want to call him up because nunca sufrió. No, that's such a dumb mentality. That's such a dumb mentality. I just realized the video is going really long, but this is, yeah. But yeah, they didn't want him in selection. But now that he's playing with Messi, they're like, oh my god, we should call him up. Plus, like, Leonardo Campana's been in good form. He's been in really good form. I'm sorry for talking fast. This is a long video. I didn't think it was gonna be this long. Arqueros Dominguez, Ramírez, Galíndez, anyone, Kendry Páez, I see has a good future. But like, they just can't rush him, bro. He's 16. Do not rush the kid. Then he becomes a flop. No, jodas. But of course, the future of Ecuadorian football is bright. I see it as bright. I see it as they do. Next, we're gonna look at Argentina's list of convocatorias. Of course, you gotta know all the players on this team. Anyone who really shocked me was Beltran for Fiorentina. Realistically, who else like really shocked me? Esquivel, I have no idea who that is. Alcatraz, Southampton, never heard of them. I'm guessing these guys are young. Zabelli from Parense, never heard of him. But one thing that did shock me was Facundo Farias for Argentina. Of course, he's been in good form. But like, that's crazy because a lot of players since Messi has arrived at Inter Miami, a lot of players have gotten called up that they never did. Drake Callender, Drake Callender's have been having a hell of a season on his own half. Benjamin Kramaski. People don't like Benjamin Kramaski in the last few games because the way he plays and he just runs. But like, I don't know. He's still young. Like, you guys gotta give the guy. He's playing a big role in a team who has to qualify. This is his second season, but this is his breakout season. Scoring his second goal. But a lot of players that get called up. Facundo Farias, Messi. Who else got their first call up? Kamaski for the USMNT. Listen, the only reason they've been calling him up is because they want him to get cap for him to not represent Argentina. At this point in time, I don't see him representing Argentina because just the way of a player he is, and he's very hard-footed. People don't like that. Like, he's very hard-footed. Like, the way he dribbles and stuff is very like he's super on his feet. But I saw in an interview, he's played rugby, which makes sense because normally players are really light on their feet. He's heavy on the feet, which kind of helps him in dribbling in a weird sense. But this list is a good team. Of course, Paulo Dybala might not even go because he's injured. He got an injury today. Fourth has an injury. Who else had injured? Messi's still injured. I don't even know if Messi's gonna play, but now Messi is gonna play because he has nothing with Inter Miami. For what is he gonna play? Get maybe 500 goals. Seriously. Messi's gonna play. He's definitely gonna play maybe 1 or 2 matches. He's gonna stay with the team. He's definitely gonna stay. Do you want out? Peru's team is all domestic players, which I kind of, honestly, they need the time, bros, because this is a crucial time for European football, so I'm guessing that's why they're not calling up the Europeans. Diego Almada can play for... let's talk about that. Let's talk about the MLS for a second. Support the Shield winners, FC Cincinnati. I completely forgot. I should have put it on a paper. Congratulations on their first ever title. Yes, people don't like the Supporter Shield. It's it's not a real title. It kind of is. You're first in the league, and you're most likely gonna win the league. The LAFC won the Super Shield last season. I mean, they had a super team, Gareth Bale, Carlos Vela. Honestly, for the MLS MVP, people were like, "Oh, Messi could win it." I'm like, bro, that's listen. The only Argentinian that should win it is Luciano or Lucho Acosta. This has been his best season to date. I've been following him since he played for DC United. Not following, but looking up on him, tuning into him once in a while, because I know he's a talented player. Hell, bro, from when I did I remember it was FIFA 18, FIFA 17. No, it was FIFA 18. I did a DT United striker career mode. I don't know why. And I picked DC United, and Lucho Acosta was just banging. He was just assisting every single assist. he also scoring. That's when I was like, this guy is pretty. Obviously, FIFA, I'm like, this guy's pretty interesting. And now he's like this, having his best season to date. Sadly, he couldn't win the U.S. Open Cup because Inter Miami knocked him out, but he should be MLS MVP. No doubt, he should be the only Argentinian in contention. Oh, sorry, Thiago Almada has been solid, but bro, like, you didn't win a trophy like that. No. Also, it sucks that he doesn't get a call up. I'm not saying he doesn't get a call up because of like the way they're in their season. But that's what I don't like, bro. Like, Thiago Almada got called up. You wanna know? I know Thiago Almada's special, but like Luciano Costa, call him up, bro. He just had one. I think his best season to date. That's why I don't understand. Like, he might not fit in the team, but have him there, bro. Also, it kind of pissed me off when, of course, CFC, they won the MLS Cup. Tati Castellanos, or Valentin Castellanos, he was playing for the Olympic team, but they didn't call him up for the Olympics at the time, and he didn't even get called up. A lot of people were expecting him to get called up by Scanoli for, I believe it was qualifiers for the World Cup. Oh, no, it was not a Copa America. Definitely not the Copa America. It was definitely qualifiers or friendlies. But he never got called up. So it's like, it was so weird. Obviously he's playing at Lazio now. He had a pretty average season in Girona, his first season in Europe. But it's like, he was the first Argentinian Golden Boot winner for the MLS. So you're expecting something special. And I was like, a lot of these players, like, I remember on FM, I saw a lot of these Argentinian players and stuff, like, that one barely, like, in the game, won't ever get called up by the Albiceleste. They either play for some random country or the U.S. Like, I remember Tati Castellanos, he literally was playing for the U.S. because of course, he got citizenship, and I'm guessing they granted him the move. But it's like, it's crazy how some teams will not call up. If you're Brazilian and you play in the MLS, you're screwed. If you're any other country I can think of, of course, the big France is never gonna call up a player in the MLS. Spain isn't. Portugal isn't. But Argentina, they started with Thiago Almada, and they should really call up. They should have called up Tati Castellanos, but I think he's gonna have his time. Obviously, if he has a good season with Lazio, maybe a Copa America move. But Lucha Costa should win MVP. Of course, it's Miami season. It's done. Everyone's looking for next season. This CONCACAF Champions Cup. Now it's Champions Cup, I believe, or Champions League. It's still Champions League, but it's Champions Cup. I don't know. And a full season. We'll see. We'll see. I was gonna do my rating. I might do my rating tomorrow for the World Cup qualifiers, but we shall see for that. So it's been nice talking to you guys. Hope you liked the video. I'd rather just record longer videos than I just talk. I don't know if it's satisfying or not, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.